Alright, I want to try something here. I'll try to keep this video short. I want to start with a really kind gift from Russell Huxtable, a VC member who lives in the UK, who found out that I was actually looking for this record. I was just trying to find a cheap copy. Can't get cheaper than free. Thank you, Russell. Because I had realized as we were coming up on Halloween, I was going to make a video of glow-in-the-dark records, and I realized that I actually have far more glow-in-the-dark records than a person probably should have. I don't know why I've got so many, it just kind of worked out that way. I'm going to see if leaving my fingers here on the vinyl, normally I would not hold vinyl this way, but I want to see if the lights, the shadows from the lights show on the record. This is going to be really tough. I've got two cameras, the lights are really bright, I can barely see the camera in front of me, but if I switch the lights off, hopefully that's enough light that you can actually see this on the other camera, which is set to a really high ISO. But these records are pretty cool, these glow-in-the-dark things. It's a gimmick, I realize that. They don't sound the greatest, most of these, which is a little unfortunate, but it's fun to have them. So I'm going to cut through as many of these as possible and try to make this as quick and painless as possible for you to watch. So if I'm going to show you a bunch of records, I should show you one of the older ones. I have this Spiritualized 7-inch, which also glows in the dark. I'll turn off the light so you can see. The cover has some glow-in-the-dark printings, the little ghosts, and the vinyl itself glow in the dark. The vinyl, maybe not so well. It actually has two sides, so both glow. But that one's pretty cool. Another one, this is actually relatively recent, not relatively, this is very recent at the time this video was made. It's actually the soundtrack to Poltergeist, a reissue of this. For some reason, I guess I'll blame it on Michael Mayer, who was pointing out how many horror soundtracks were being re-released on vinyl. So I started picking some of them up. And the Poltergeist soundtrack is actually two pieces of vinyl. I can't believe I'm holding records this way. This is horrible. But again, I want to see how well this works. So these actually glow in the dark pretty well. It's a double disc. You can see the shadow from one record on the other. I don't know if it's illuminating my face at all. But very cool. Great little soundtrack, horror soundtrack, and interesting vinyl. But I'm going to keep cutting through these. This is kind of crazy. This is probably not too bright to just leave the records behind me one on top of the other like this, because that's awful for vinyl, I realize. But I'm wondering if you can see them in the background here. This one is you probably recognize just from the cover, is yet another Flaming Lips release. This is the Yoko Ono EP, the 12-inch, which took me a long time to actually get a hold of, because people were I didn't get a hold of it when it first came out, and people were just charging way too much for this piece of vinyl. So I had to wait and wait and wait until I finally found somebody who was selling it for a reasonable price. But I'm glad I finally got it, because this one's actually pretty cool. I don't know how well we're going to be able to see this, but it's actually not even. So it's a kind of like a splatter vinyl, where some of the vinyl down here glows in the dark and the rest of the vinyl doesn't. Maybe I'll show some stills of this one, because if you see it up close in a nice still photo, you get a better appreciation of just how nice that one looks. This is one actually I've been looking for a while, and people are charging way too much for this. So all I have is the black vinyl. I can show it to you. I don't have the one with the glow in the dark, but it's Carl Sagan. There's a nice little etching on the back of what was printed onto the record that was sent with Voyager. But this is released by Third Man Records. But anyway, this record from Third Man is actually pretty cool, because they did the glow in the dark in such a way where the splatter parts actually look like stars when it glows. So it's pretty cool. Maybe someday I'll get lucky and I'll find a copy of it. I just don't see it happening right now. Graveface Records. This is one of their bands, the Marshmallow Ghosts. I can't remember if part of the cover glows in the dark, but I know this does. I'm going to hold this under the light for a second. But it's another one that very nice, glows in the dark. You are going to get so bored of seeing record after record glowing in the dark. I apologize. This one, I'm not going to show all three of them. This is a great record, though. I love this little Sun Ra triple 7-inch. I don't know if I can get it all on camera there or not. I don't have a lot of Sun Ra releases. I wish I had more. There's a lot of people in the VC that have a ton of these. But the whole set of 7-inch records glows in the dark. And if you look at one of these up close, it's kind of interesting because it's also probably inadvertently a little splatter. So there are specks that glow in the dark better than other parts. So it's actually a better version of what Third Man was trying to do with the Carl Sagan record. These look really cool. I was talking to somebody in the VC who had a copy of it and didn't even know it glowed in the dark, and I was asking him if it was the glow in the dark version, because I think that's the only one like this that was put out. And he was so excited when he found out it glowed in the dark. So that's fun. I also had the luck to see Melt Banana once here in Omaha, and when I bought the 7-inch at the show, I had him sign it all, and ended up with 2 copies of it. So I've got this signed one that's actually glow in the dark, and then a black 7-inch. Actually, I should give away that. If somebody wants the 7-inch from Melt Banana, let me know. Maybe that should also be a prize. Another glow in the dark that I've got is Man or Astro Man, Your Weight on the Moon. This is actually a 10-inch glow in the dark, which also very cool again because it glows in the dark. This one actually fades really fast. It's not the best print or pressing for glow in the dark, so we'll see how long that lasts on camera. Hooray again for Ryan Grayface and his record label. This one actually glows in the dark, but it's the cover that glows in the dark. So turn off the lights so you can see the cover glowing in the dark. Very cool. All right, this one's going to be a challenge to show, not because it glows in the dark, but because it's a Dwarves release of a young woman smoking a joint without a top on, and I don't want to get the video banned just because it showed something like that. It glows in the dark. Ooh. Actually, this one glows pretty well. Might even illuminate my face a little bit. I accidentally dropped this a second ago, so I don't know why I'm refilming this. I should have included that. That was pretty stupid of me to drop it. There's drawings of penises on the back, so that's also a problem, I guess. Okay, one more 7-inch from Arcade Fire is Neighborhood Number 3 Power Out. This one also glows in the dark, and it's got this nice foil print for the part of it. But unfortunately, this one doesn't glow in the dark really well, so we'll give it a try here, but I have a feeling, yeah, this one's a little darker, a little harder to see. Maybe I'll throw up a still or something so you can see it just a little better, but it does indeed glow in the dark, like all the other records. All right, and I suppose this last one I'm going to show might be considered a grail by some people. It's certainly going for way too much online, so I'm thinking of actually selling it on eBay and getting rid of it. I've got a white copy of Beach House Bloom, but this is the glow-in-the-dark copy, and apparently not very many were made, 250 or something like that, 250, and the prices are just outrageous, so I think I'm going to go ahead and probably sell this. But for those of you that are curious, I'd be much more careful with this because if I'm going to sell it, I don't want to have damaged records. But once again, that's really nice. That worked really well there. This might be so bright that once again, it illuminates pretty well. But enough of that silliness. And again, I'm going to be much more careful with that vinyl since people seem to really want it. Yeah. I don't know what else to say at this point. I think that's all of them. I might have one or two more that I just didn't realize when I was making this video, but thanks for watching. But surprise, surprise, glows in the dark. I should leave that in.